me, this is not my normal time to go live. I do have a ring light, but honestly, it's a little obscene and it's late, so I just didn't want it shining in my eyes either. um, so I'm gonna tell you a few stories. Sammy is sleeping over here in the tent. Hi, Sammy. Hi, Samson. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. So I'm gonna tell you a couple real life stories, incidents from my own life, not as glorification, as warnings for you to steer clear of these things so that you know what to look for. Let me see if I can make it a little brighter. Is there filters on this? I don't know. I don't want a green screen. Oh no. Oh my god, it's my own picture. No, that's not what I wanted. Nope. Nope. I just wanted it to be brighter. It's cool to know that's there though. Okay, so this is gonna be... I'm gonna mesh some stories that you might have heard if you've watched the channel for a while. It's not gonna be long. These are incidents in my life that were strange, that I didn't realize were anything until I looked back. You see, when you're raised with the occult all around you, you're not ever told like, hey, this is our religion, or hey, this is what we do. You're just like given certain things at certain times in your life because they know your energy might be high at that time. Like when you're a teenager and you're going through all those hormone upheavals. That's a very good time for a poltergeist activity. I got my little green light up there too. And some, you can see my little... I'm at the dollar store. And I keep them on my desk, but they actually light the tent up quite a lot. You can't tell here, but it does. Okay. And there's no filters anymore. I don't know. On Apple, everything's different. So if you use a tablet, if you use a phone, if you use an Apple, if you use a Samsung, if you use a laptop, all your options are different on YouTube apps. So just be aware of that. You're not always being like stalked or surveilled. Sometimes it's just a bad program in an app. I didn't realize how many people had moved here, because I keep my windows shut and I play like nature sounds when I sleep. And I didn't realize how many people had moved to this small town. Like the road I live on, yeah, it is midnight to a little after 3 a.m. is high activity time. I just mean with people, I didn't realize how many people had moved here. So I'm gonna share a couple of stories from my own life that I didn't realize were like related to the occult until looking back. And you're not told when you're raised like that, like, hey, we're in the occult, you know, this is our religion, especially when your parents are divorced and one side is taking you to like church every weekend, and then on this side you're getting given like metaphysical books and palm reading books and astrological books. I'm like 10, right? Like, what's going on? So I'm gonna... Hola, welcome. I'm gonna tell you a few incidents of my own life. One of them happened right before all this stuff set off in 2018. Again, new people might not understand this, but the stories you should be able to relate to. This looks about like one of those confession tapes about stealing candy from a gas station. You're funny. Are you telling us a story about how you met Jesus? No, I'm giving you warning stories about why you should stay away from the occult. It's odd, a lot of people are out that late. Basically, nobody is out in my area. Indiana by the Ohio border. So the road I live on is like a main road. It can take you to the bypass down that way. But again, it's not... We're a small town. And I don't know what's up with all this activity. Ohio has been... I didn't know it again until I moved here. I was very naive. I had no clue about some stuff. And some stuff was kept from me purposely. But again, when you're raised a certain type of way, you don't realize that, right? So when I was about 6, between like 5 and 7, I stayed with my grandma, which was my mom's adopted mom, and her half brothers and sisters. I was never given a reason. My mom just went away for a while, and I told you guys this before. What I haven't told you is how strange my life was. Like how many different, like paranormal, supernatural encounters that I had all throughout life. But some of them weren't very good, right? And they stuck with me for a while because I was open to it, right? So the adults around me opened me up to that. So when I was staying there, my pappy, who I stayed with during the day and we'd watch his game shows, he wasn't a very active guy, but he spit wisdom out a lot at me. And they made a point, and now what's strange about this is they made a point to tell me this. And again, looking back through my whole life, I'm finding out that some of these stories I was told were about our family or about me or about my mother without telling me directly. This is how I know we've been watched and surveilled and monitored for a long time, is because nobody comes right out and just tells me things. Like, something about me makes people like confess to me like their sins and they don't mean to do it, and I know it just happens, right? Like a truth detector, a lie detector. I wonder if people like you ever watch someone crazier and feel better. Ouija boards exist, do they not? Ghost adventures, how much money do they make? Do you watch it? Have you ever watched it? Any ghost hunting? Then no one calls them crazy. They're millionaires. So, I mean, your gaslighting and your trolling doesn't work with me. I'm not 5. So you might want to go somewhere else, because you're not going to affect me. Anyways, the point of... He snores so loud, I'm so sorry. So the point of this is to tell you, there was no reason for them to tell me what they told me. But anyway, listen. My aunt, it was like, it became well known that my pappy, for 2 years, everything he ate and drank tasted like oranges. Now, I don't know why they told me this, but here's the story. Pappy made a witch mad. He had angered her or offended her by something he said. And so, now again, this is adults talking to me. So I wonder if people as crazy as you ever feel better watching crazier people. If you want to like go at somebody, I would go with the adults in this situation. Regardless, they told me that Pappy had offended a witch, and that for 2 years, everything he ate and everything he drank tasted like oranges. And I remembered that when CV started, how everybody was saying food didn't taste right, things didn't taste right, and they were blaming us like they always do. Well, it's your health. You're ill. You've got this. You've got that. No, food quality, like now that I've worked back in food quality and food prep is way down. These people don't care. They don't care about your food. They don't care it goes in your body. It's disgusting. That's why they didn't want me there. We're sick of your drama. Now you're sick of me telling you to wash your hands and to not keep old food, and not serve old food, and to rotate food, right? Anyway, Pappy, it was known he could not taste anything but oranges for 2 years because a witch had cursed him. Now I had asked them, I said, well, what happened? Like, how did you, you're okay now, right? I see you eating dippy eggs and all these things. Oh yeah, I made it right. I made right what I did wrong or something like that. But why are you telling a like 5-year-old this story anyway? Do you see what I'm saying about motivation? You have to look at like, why are these people behaving this way? Why are they doing that way? Why'd the witch curse him? I don't know. They didn't tell me that. They said he said something that offended her. He didn't do anything. Something he said made her angry, and she made him taste nothing but oranges. Like, that's a wild curse, right? Like, you're not gonna enjoy any of your food. Everything you taste will be like oranges. So something that was said must have, like, I don't know if it had to do with food or something. Comfortable spot. I should be quiet. I'm being loud. I was raised a youth minister's kid, I think that's supposed to say, and in my late teens and 20s dabbled pretty deep in the occult. I completely stopped in my late 20s and came back to the light. There are 100% things out there. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so... And see, I found my way out, but I'm still in the thick of it, like these people are everywhere, find your way out if they hurt you. There is no, like, you're not a person to them. And I don't get it. Like, my feelings are so hurt by all this because I love these people. Like, I worked with those kids and I liked that job and I liked what we did together. And so it's so upsetting to see people behave like that. So while I was staying with my aunt and my uncle and my pappy and my gram, while I was there, the whole duration, right? Because I'm the youngest kid and I'm kind of like a little sister at this point. And the whole duration was them, you know, picking on me, giving me a hard time, and telling me spooky stories. So when I was there, we stayed in the attic, and that was my aunt. My two aunts lived, you know, that was their bedroom. They shared the attic. Now, they couldn't have been different, more different. They were the antithesis of each other. One was very feminine and girly and, like, dated all, like, all the cool boys or whatever, and the other aunt was very not like that, okay? Me and the not prima donna aunt, me and the tomboy aunt, would stick our feet in the vent at night and she would tell me stories. And this is where I learned about sleep paralysis. Now, mind you, I'm between the ages of like 5 and 7. I'm not in school yet. Nobody had put me in school. My dad kept showing up, wanting me in school. Nobody would tell me where my mom was, just that she had to go away for a while. And I remember her being taken away. And, you know, you can't put it together when you're a child. You don't know actually what's happening. So that's where I learned about sleep paralysis. I was like 5 or 6 or 7. And staying up there, she would start talking about like this woman entity, okay? And she was telling me about the old hag, but she didn't call her the old hag, right? She called her, I don't know, an old witch or just something, I couldn't remember. She said, there's this woman, this female, she comes up around here. If you see her, you know, don't be scared. And let me tell you, their attic bedroom was creepy. And it was the 80s. And the walls were painted purple. And there was a giant unicorn head and a rainbow on one side. But at night when it was dark, it was really, really dark up there. And for a child, right? So after she tells me this story and kind of scares the bejesus, and I'm like, I can't sleep now. And I was into being scared as a kid. I'm like, tell me more, right? So she tells me these stories about how she's laying there and she feels like this big finger come over her throat and she couldn't get up and she couldn't speak. That was sleep paralysis, right? So now I'm up there and I'm having to sleep up there and I start feeling like something or somebody is watching me all the time, like all the time. So fast forward a bit to I'm about 12, maybe 13. My mom is remarried. I have siblings. And we're in a house. And my mom starts this stuff again, right? She starts giving me these Time Life books. And now it used to be a series. You'd get one a month. And they're metaphysical books, right? There's one on palm reading. There's one on astrology. There's another one on like telepathy, ESP, all these things. And so she's just giving me these books. Here, research, Jen. I know you like your encyclopedias. Try this set, you know. And my mom, she only got half the encyclopedias. Like, who does that? I only got up to like M or something. And then she started buying these. And then she gave me a Ouija board. So my mom, in the midst of all this, let me tell you a little bit about her. After she came back, she was different. Like, she was not the sweet, soft mom that I had remembered. And she did not look, she looked like her, but she didn't look like her, if that makes sense. And that's a pattern in my life. Like, every time I'm separated from people and they come back, they're like different. This is why I tell you to keep your family close and don't be traveling without them. Because there's stuff going on out here that we don't understand. Like, we just don't know exactly where the missing people are going, right? We don't know these things. We don't know these answers. So my mom also, at the same time of having these books come in and ordering these metaphysical things, she's also turning on the stereo. Check this out. My mom, man, I'm telling you, and I didn't know at the time, right? I didn't know that we're forbidden from doing some of this in the Bible. I was a kid going to CCD, but that was on the weekends with my gram and my dad. My mom was a whole nother enigma. Zadizia says entities can get inside of people if the situation is right. Oh yeah, possession is real. Absolutely. I don't consent to it. Like, I'm not going to do that. But it's real. Yeah. I'm telling you. These people here, they're not my family, man. But I still treat them like my family mostly, and I still, do for them. The point is to, like, love people enough to know their needs, man. Love people enough to care when they're out of their normal scope of behavior. Recognize it. Be observant in your surroundings and the people that you're with. So in the midst of this, my mom, we have a stereo, right? It's the 80s. We got the big entertainment center with the stereo. She owns a video store at this point as well, but that's like another part of the story. I'm sorry, my hair's like fuzzy. I crimped it and waved it, and it's like just fuzzy. Anyways, I'm camping, sort of, so it's okay. So she's turning on the stereo at night, and I'm like, what are you doing, Mom? What's this now? What do you want about? Like, what's this about? And she starts telling me about white noise. And she's like, well, if the situation is right and you turn on the TV or the stereo to one of those channels that doesn't actually tune in, you can hear people talking. And she said it was spirit voices. Like, this is what she believed, that they embody spirits from, like, the other side, right? And there's books about it. People talk about white noise all the time. Now, like, it's well known, right? But back then, it's like 1990. I'm like 12 years old. It's just bizarre that these things keep being brought around. And I'm noticing, like, my dad comes to get me, but he's taking me to places he shouldn't be taking me. Like, he takes me to the horse races. And then he takes me to, like, his social club, like the Slovak club, or Joe's place, Joe's bar. And while he plays slot machine, like little, the little poker machines, I'm starting to feel like I have this gift I don't know I have, and everyone passes me around because I'm a good luck charm. I'd go to my aunt's and she'd take me to the casino, knowing darn well I don't have money, and if I did have money and I trade it for something, I want something in return. Like, I'm not going to feed money to a slot machine. Like, I just don't do that. I'm not judging you, but I don't have it like that. I've never done it, so I don't do it. So I'm starting to, like, notice these things, but I don't really think anything of them because of all the gaslighting, like the name calling, and just the guy. I don't know what else to call it. It's just bad, right? Like, a parent shouldn't talk certain ways to their child, and a parent shouldn't dog the other parent to the child. And that's why I'm so mad about my situation. Is they had conversations and, like, meetings with my sons without me being present about me, and, like, the shunning and stuff. And his mother told me. She didn't tell you that. Like, dude, I'm fabricating my whole life story. It's all a lie, and I do it all so I can be abused more. Oh, yes. Like, logic, man, just think. People need to think. So anyway, as all this is going on, my mom is turning on the stereo at night to a static station. Meanwhile, stuff starts happening in the house, okay? And then she's blaming the house. The house is haunted. I'm like, oh my God, look what you've done. Look what you've brought in. So let me tell you what she brought into this house. First, she's bringing them books and giving those to me. Then she gives me the actual Ouija board, but I don't use it yet. And then she's doing the white noise thing. She's turning this on at night, trying to hear voices or whatever. And she's real big on money. Like, she wants money from this. This is what most people want from, like, psychics and whatnot. But again, the elite, the leaders of the occult, in the occult, they create money. They can get money anytime they want. They don't need our money because they make it. It's to distract us. That's all money is. The debt, all that stuff, none of that's real. None of it. You can wipe it away anytime you felt like it. And what do you say we've got these tragedies for, but you need our money? Why do you need our money? You're celebrities. Go fix it. You have the money. Like we got to start thinking about these things. And blood drives. Where's all the blood going? We don't have situations every day that require the amount of blood drives that they're doing. Because I saw another commercial yesterday for them being short. Figure it out. We live amongst some nasty, nasty beings. And if they were once human, they are not anymore. Okay, so my mom's bringing these things around, and she's turning the white noise on now and telling me, teaching me that you can hear spirits in the white noise. And again, this ends up being a big thing in the 80s. Everybody knew about it. Zedizia, your name kind of sounds occultic to me. I'm sorry. So I have a little problem saying it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend you. I apologize. I'm just being honest. They were gaslighting you and trying to condition you to their side. People and things did the same because they wanted the power of my bloodline and what I have been anointed with. I'm glad I'm at least, like, tracking, you know what I mean? Like, nobody told me these things, but I'm finally figuring it out, I guess. I was so I was made to work. I was told, like, he wouldn't work, and I had to work to feed my kids. The deep truth lays deeper as to why they were trying so hard to get you on their side. Why is everybody so cryptic with me? Why can't anyone just come out and say, hey, yeah, you're on Candid Camera. You're on The Truman Show. We see you on billboards in New York all the time. Or, hey, yeah, you know, this is what's going on. You know, they think you're a spectacle. Zedizia is Old Solomonic Hebrew for emanating from God. But they didn't have a Z, did they? Zed. Well, Zechariah, I guess. Is that how it's pronounced, though, in Hebrew? I'm just curious. I'm sorry. I love names. And now I'm trying to learn more about them. Because I'm not good at remembering people's names. I remember their faces. That's why so many people, like, hide their faces around me. And again, people confess to me all the time. I don't want them to. They just do. And they don't realize they've done it until after. Sometimes people don't even realize it. People have stopped coming around me because of that. Because, like, I'm like a truth detector or something. And now they made a show of that. With that chick from American Pie, the redhead chick. They made a show about that. First, Netflix does the Black Mirror episode with Joan is Awful, which is basically my life and the hair I used to have. Is that easy? Yeah, I believe it has more to do with how it was said. Their alphabet was different. Right? Like Aleph Bet. Right? I feel you. That's the English. That's so we can pronounce it and read it. That's obviously not Hebrew characters, but thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And I didn't mean to, like, again, I wasn't trying to be offensive. Thank you for being here and keeping me company and letting me know that, like, the things I'm seeing and hearing aren't just my imagination. So my mom's doing this white noise, and then, and again, I still haven't used this Ouija board, right? And then here comes the coup de grace. Things start happening in our house, and she's like, our house is haunted, and I'm a kid, but I'm like, but you've done it. You did it. You're trying to talk to these things, and you want them around. So why are you now complaining we need to get a priest to bless the house? Because here's what started happening. Thank you. Here's what started happening. So one day, me and my mother were sitting in the living room, and we knew that my stepfather would be home, and that was like a very tense time because he was OCD about things being clean. Again, he was another one of them shiny blue-eyed people, not very attractive to look at though, and kind of a weird dude. Anyways, he was very clean, like, oriented, and if you made a mess, he would scream at you to the point of, like, spitting all over you. It was bad. And so we were waiting for him to come home, like, and just on pins and needles, we knew he was due home to arrive. And we sat there, we were both sitting on the couch, and the door opened. We heard the screen door, right? Because both doors were shut. We had the main door and the screen door, and we're sitting on the couch, and that's the living room, and then there's an entryway where the front door is, and it's all open, right? So we're seeing very clearly. And as we're sitting there, we hear the screen door, and my mom's like, oh, he must be home. I didn't hear his car. And then the big door opens. And our chins must have hit the ground, because we look at each other and we look at the door, and the door, like, the doorknob turned, the door pushed open and shut itself, and nobody was there. Nobody was there. Nobody. Now, this other time, well, this was a common occurrence. Girls stopped coming over to my house for sleepovers because there was always somebody walking back and forth in the hallway upstairs. In the upstairs part of this house, there was a long hallway, and then my bedroom to the left, and another bedroom to the front, and then a little door to the attic. I still have nightmares about that attic, dude, because whatever that thing was grew very possessive of me. I don't know why. It just did. And still bad things happen to me in this house. But again, poltergeist activity can come from the adolescent, the teenager. So some of the stuff I might have been making happen without being aware of it, right? And you'll find that these people that are deep into the occult, they will test you without telling you you're being tested. That's what a lot of this was. When this kicked off in 2018 and my aunt suddenly wanted to take me to an escape room, that's where everything like kind of coalesced, because they more or less, they let me figure out the escape room, right? Almost all by myself. And I was like, oh, this goes here and that goes there. Like, they were all focused in their own little section, and I was bouncing back and forth. This is why I say don't get stuck in one paradigm, because if you get stuck in the politics or the entertainment, you'll get stuck there. Like, it's a moat, and you won't be able to get out. And that's all you'll be. Garbage in, garbage out. If that's all you're taking in, you're not going to grow spiritually. You're not going to grow as a person. You're not going to spiritually evolve. And when things start happening and you have pressure in your life, you're not going to handle it well. You're not going to be able to cope. I've had to create my own coping mechanisms and care for myself as a mother, because I haven't had any of that, and I didn't know I needed it. And now I'm older than I appear in how I speak, because I've been so naive and sheltered a lot of my life. So anyways, none of my friends, like none of the girls at school would come over anymore, because there would be this sound of somebody walking all night, back and forth in the hallway, back and forth. Nobody went to go to the bathroom. Like, it was funny at first. People like wanted to freak out, so they started talking about things. And every time you start talking about it, you know, it can manifest. That's why I gotta be careful with a couple of these stories I'm about to tell. Okay, so the next thing, my mom brings in, well, she creates her own Ouija board out of the kitchen table. So she takes and she writes letters, right? She makes a bunch of letters on paper. XNT. I was pretty deep in the occult. I might still be, but now I just don't worry about what I knew, and I don't believe in what I convinced myself. Yeah, it sounds like you're still confused, maybe. Anyways, so my mom, again, she starts talking about how the house needs blessed, how the house is haunted. And there's me, a kid. I'm like, you bitch, you're bringing all this stuff into the house. Like, you're wanting to talk to these things. And now that it's not doing what you want it to do or whatever, you're mad. So here's what she wanted to, you finally see people's real motivation eventually. You just got to wait them out long enough. So she makes a Ouija board out of our table, and she cuts all these letters out, and then the word yes and no. And then my stepdad was there, and I can't remember the other two people she had convinced to do this, because I know my grandma wouldn't have done it, or my step-grandma and my step-grandpa, because they were pretty Catholic. They were pretty old school. And why my mom kept marrying Catholics, I don't know. This is what I'm talking about, Freemasonry and Eastern Stars. They don't like Catholics. They are after Catholics. Christians will do, but specifically Catholics. And if they're after the Catholics, you have to ask yourself, why is that? Anyways, so she makes this Ouija board out of the kitchen table, right? And you need 4 people or 6 or something. And she's like, come on. She's trying to convince me to do it. Mind you, I'm 12. Come on, Jenny. Come on, Jenny. Please. Come on, Jenny. Come on. Don't you want the lottery numbers, Jenny? Don't you want to win money, Jenny? I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. Don't you want to be a good girl, Jenny? Don't you want to listen to your mom, Jenny? Listen to your mom, Jenny. Do as I say. We just need one more person. It's not going to hurt you. That's my mother, mind you. So she teaches me how to do it. They get this glass tumbler. A tumbler is like a half glass. It's like the height of a shot glass, but it's like a regular cup, like you'd have scotch on the rocks or something. So you get a tumbler, and everybody has to blow in it. So we blow in it, and we put our fingers on it. And we're in the kitchen. And almost as soon as we put our fingers down, it starts to move, right? And everybody's like, are you doing it? The whole thing happens. I know you're doing it. No, you must be doing it. Oh, you're doing it. Well, then it starts moving a little faster, and somebody notices across the room, they see red eyes in the microwave, and they're like, oh my God, what's going on? And at that same time, the cup with our fingers on it started spinning faster and faster and faster, and it flew off the table into the other room. I got up and I said, and I don't know why I said it this way, but this is what I said. And again, the spirit gets in me, and things come out that I don't know are going to come out all the time. And I told her, I said, see, I told you I didn't want to do this. I told you I didn't want to do no Ouija board. I don't care about lottery numbers. See what happened? So then, for years, she's talking about how we have to get the house blessed because there's something in it. Meanwhile, all she ever does is tell ghost stories, look at these metaphysical books, call psychics. I think she did that before too. And it's always like trying to get things. Now, again, I don't know why, because my mother, before she left, like, we were a lot alike when things were good. And she talked to me like a regular person, even though I was a kid. Like, I think she had whatever gift I have. So when she came back, she either didn't have it or she wasn't the same person because she was always trying to hijack mine. And again, people might not believe me. You don't have to believe me, but this is how the occult works, and this is how they test the kids to see if they're gifted. I wasn't told any of this. All of this information has literally come from the ether. I've been like a wide open receiver for years now. Like a radio station, and I can tune in to certain things. And again, it doesn't bother me if you call me crazy. Are you going to go and call the authors crazy who write all these, guru books and millions of dollars? Because they have very similar stories. You just don't like me because I'm a small town woman, and you don't like me because of where I'm at, and you don't like me because you're a personal troll, and because I know who you are, and I see you. And ladies, we have a lot to deal with this. What a person accepts the world is built on lies and fear. You can start to understand that you do it to yourself through conditioning. I hope one day you realize this for your own peace. I think I just explained that about poltergeist activity, that it comes from that person. But I'm not no. I am not responsible for other people's free will choices. What they do to me is what they do by their choice. Otherwise, you got to admit that not everybody here is real and not everybody has free will. Because somebody is making these people do these things to me. And it's not me. I know you. I know you are. Just by that comment. It's far bigger than a person simply doing it to themselves. It is. It really is. And yes, I might have been manipulated at times and have done certain things because, again, I don't want to use the word power, but certain people are born with certain abilities and our words carry more weight. And that should be something that people want us to be careful with, because the more you abuse us, the harsher our words become. And if our words have that much power, that means we could affect our environment. So you should not want to abuse us if we do have these gifts, because those gifts could turn on you because you're abusing us. Like, don't you see that? And there's always somebody like that in the chat that wants to blame you. Just like with child harmers. the life, everything that you have inside is what you manifest and see outwardly. What, so all the people here are my imagination? Again, that doesn't fly. That's not true. You can't make your own environment like that. You can't control the will of others. You can manipulate it, but that's witchcraft at its root, is intention. And if you're intending to manipulate and deceive, you are participating in witchcraft. Now, a witch is a whole nother story. They are no longer human once they become a witch. Humanity leaves them. And there are old wives' tales about things to look for on a person that let you know what they are. You might want to look at those. I'm not going to say it here on the channel for personal reasons, but there are certain things that you can look at. I know that the people I'm dealing with are not human any longer. They took that deal to be able to change their looks and themselves. Zedzizia says, those organizations you mentioned wanted me real bad and got real mad when they realized even money couldn't buy me. I've had that, like, that's how the testing of me started, was seeing how they could buy me or blackmail me. And because I came out and confessed the stuff that I did when they tempted me, they set me up, but I confessed it, they had nothing on me. They couldn't blackmail me. How do you think they get all these people? These regular people in their pyramid club. How do you think they get them? Because everybody's house is already monitored. That's why cops are fat. Because they sit around watching screens all day, watching you in your homes. Do you own your home? If you don't own your home, depending on the state you live in, landlords might be allowed to put a camera in. But, like, people need to understand what's happening and why it's happening. They know you very well. It's not all demons. A lot of it is people who are demonized, who have very, very ill, bad intentions. For real. And that's how they test you at first. How can they buy you? How can they buy your silence? And if you won't, that doesn't fly, then it's, how can we blackmail you? And if you confess on your own, they can't blackmail you. They have nothing on you. Now they threaten every day I went to work, that golden boy kid, the one who revved, like he harassed me today. And I consider that harassment. He didn't have to say a word. He was trying to intimidate me in his big truck while I was cutting the grass. And I waved my hand. I was going to say hi. Like, no hard feelings, you're my neighbor. You're a kid. Why is a minor messing with an older woman like this? How's come every day I went into work, it was, oh, how's Sam? I'll take real good care of him. Dude, if you don't know what intimidation is and that people, like, he wasn't saying he would take good care of him. He was saying he would harm him. Yeah, they tried to blackmail too, tried to frame me, basically destroyed my life at that point. I'm in the same boat. I hope you're genuine. Like, I don't hope you're genuine. Like, I don't hope bad things for people, but I hope you're a real person. Because again, I don't want to be the only one going through these things. It gives my mental status comfort to know, you know, like, hey, these things do happen. And again, I'm not the first one with this story. There's people talking all over Reddit. These kids can't keep a secret. There was a calling in Florida in 2018 when I was down there. Nobody warned me, and it was a free trip. I couldn't figure out why they took me. People were chatting in a freaking Reddit room, dude. I saw it, all about it. These kids have no heart. They have no compassion. Go onto Reddit and go read some of the groups. Punch in anti-Christian. You'll find tons of groups like that. Punch in anything into the Reddit search engine. You will find people talking about it. And these young people, again, they have no self-awareness of, like, hey, what I did was wrong. You know what I mean? They've not been disciplined. Their parents have not disciplined them. And discipline is love. If you're not being disciplined, you are not loved. This is why you got to discipline yourself when you get to be an adult. You discipline your body, right? To get up at a certain time, go to bed at a certain time. You don't need your mom or dad to do that for you anymore. It should be the same with your behavior. You shouldn't need anyone to tell you how to behave. You shouldn't need anyone to tell you not to harass your friend's mom. You shouldn't need anyone to tell you not to open her door and go violate her body after you dose her drink. because she's the MILF of the neighborhood. Yeah, those things happen to me. And I'm telling you these stories as a warning so that they don't happen to other people. And it should disgust you. And if you're not disgusted, shame on you. They did my life a lot better. Now I'm 100% real and can definitely relate to what you're saying. Your life is a lot better. I'm glad. I don't think I'm going to get out of my situation. I'll probably die in this situation. Like, that's just... God told me... Again, I'm like a receiver. God told me when all this started happening, like, what was probably going to happen here. And I'm not going to give life to it. I'm not going to speak it just because I've kind of wrote it down. But there's still a chance that it might not happen, because that's why God gave us prophets, right? Jonah warned Nineveh, and Nineveh listened. So God did not do what he said he was going to do. Jonah was kind of mad because he's like, I'm going to look like a lying prophet. I'll look like a false prophet. And God's like, you shouldn't care about that. You should care about the fact that you saved all these people. It's not about you. It's a collective effort here, guys. You can't push anyone off a cliff, and you shouldn't be pushed off a cliff, right? Or walk off a cliff. So, after the Ouija board incident and all the, like, different people walking around in the house, this girl says, this person said, Zia says, I thought the same for quite a while. Always remember, angels are way more terrifying than the demons they serve. I call on, like you're not, like, people tell me you're not supposed to, but I ask God first, and I'm like, please send Raphael. I really need him. He has a special talent that I need right now. So I'm probably going to do a fast. And I know, like, I could go and use his sigil and all that, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to step in that area of things. But people don't understand. I don't think people understand, like, what's going on here. In the church, right? Even in the Christian church, you used to have people who were demonologists. They knew about this stuff inside and out, and they would help you, and they would come help you, and they would do these things. Like you saw in Supernatural, the show with Dean and Sam, the Winchesters. The churches had people like that who were witch hunters or exorcists and deliverers. They were like doctors. They would come to your house, and they would do certain things. And again, yeah, it's better to just call on them through meditative prayer. I try that. I'm not welcoming anybody into my body, and that's what worries me about meditation. So I just try to focus on one question that I have while I meditate, or like when prayer or verse or good intention, and I focus on that. And I usually meditate. It might be a bad idea, but I pray, meditate, and then I fall asleep kind of in that state, because you're in your zen, right? Like, you're in your spot, you're in your zone. But yeah, I don't think I am meant to get out of this situation unless, like, these guys change. Like, I could have gotten out of this situation. I got my settlement after my head injury, after he battered me, and he manipulated me into buying a car. I bought him a car. He still has this car. And that money, I could have started a new life. I could have I can start a new life on $5,000. Like, that's nothing to me. That would be doable. Most people can't say that. I could go start a new life probably on $5,000. Clearing your mind, meditation. Your body is your temple. Right, exactly. I'm not letting nothing in there. The Holy Spirit needs to stay there. That's what I go with these days. So yeah, like, I really want Raphael's help. So if anyone wants to pray for me, that he could come and help me, that would be amazing. And if you don't know Raphael's, like, special area or attributes, I read some of the Book of Tobit on the channel. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read some of it so you could see what his special talent is, because in this time, you might need his help too. And if you pray to God, just ask God to send you Raphael. Because you see, and I don't think people get this, like, they say God has 72 names, right? Well, guess who else has 72 names? There's 72 angel names, allegedly, known angel names, and 72 demon names. They're all a different hand of God, in a way. right? Like every angel has a name that's related to God, right? And we're not looking at the demons now because some people disagree about where they came from and if they're fallen, if they're not, you know. I don't want to get too much into like theology right now. It's just a lighthearted conversation. Um, Gosh, this is uncomfortable. I should not have moved the tent. I should have left it where it was, but I didn't want to be outside of his window like that. So if God has 72 names and the angels have 72 names and each angel has a name pertaining to God, like the light of God or the fire of God, each angel name represents an attribute of God that they carry out. Do you see what I'm saying? Like their principality, their power. That's how they carry it out. What was that? Anyways, so like the light of God, he brings the light. Uriel is something like fire of God or something, and he has the discs of fire. So that's kind of how that works. If you want to know more about that, we can look into it. But again, you got to be real careful because it's easy to slide into the occult. But I'm the type of person, like, I want to be a demonologist. Like, that's where my gifting is. I root these things out pretty good. They hate me. Why do you think they harass me so much? Because they hate me. Because I know when they're in people. I know when they're speaking to me. I know Legion. It speaks to me all the time through these people. That's why they don't like me, is because my focus is on demonology. Like, I want to get rid of this stuff. And not demonology and demon worship. I mean demonology as in not an exorcist, right? Nothing like that, because I'm not that. I'm not that great or whatever. But I mean just a demonologist, somebody who studies, researches, offers some advice maybe as far as like what the research says, and does certain things that other people aren't always able to do. Certain people just have areas of gifting, and that's one of mine. Like I was blessed spiritually, and I think that's why I have such a crummy like material life, is because I have these inner wells of like strength and attributes that I didn't even know were there until I started suffering. And that's what I was trying to tell you earlier in the suffering video, that good comes from it, and God will use their wickedness to help your spiritual growth, to help your redemption arc, so to speak. Okay, so another story. Now this one is my grandpa was a Melchizedek. I know what they are. I don't know if I say it right. Melchizedek? High priest. Once I realized some things, the demons are pretty easy to remove and ignore. Absolutely. Absolutely. For us. But that's not how it is for everybody else, you know what I mean? And I don't mind. I don't know how to say this right without sounding weird. People have to consent, right? You can't get rid of that stuff unless people want it gone. It doesn't bother me per se that it exists. Like, it doesn't affect me. I don't blame the people. I still love them. I just said that. It bothers me that people aren't using and retaining their free will, and that people aren't using their words, because your words have a lot more power than you can possibly know. Obviously, with all this stuff happening, people just don't realize like what's going on or where it's coming from. And yeah, some of us are doing it to ourselves in a way, so to speak. But again, I'm not going to take that route of there is no villain, because there really is a villain. I'm not going to say, oh, you're doing it to yourself. No, dude, I'm not going to. They want you to think that, and they want you to take all this on you because they want you in a state of condemnation. I'm going to tell you. So, Bigfoot. Let's talk Bigfoot real quick before we hit the hour point, or cryptids. I didn't know this at the time. Again, I'm looking back at my life. I've had a lot of time the last few years to do inner work. Some people call it shadow work. I've had a lot of time to look at myself, examine myself, and go over things, right? This started either right before I went to Florida or right after I got back. Excuse me. And I didn't know what it was until I started hearing the stories on like creepypasta or like the Bigfoot hunter channels. So we went fishing over to the lake, the local lake, and this little bay. We call it Turtle Bay because there's always a bunch of turtles and lily pads. But sometimes it's good fishing if you go at the right time. Nice bass, all that. And there's just a little pier. And it's nice because it's tucked away on the other side of the lake by a walking trail. Not a lot of people go there. It's not like the main entrance to the park. So you can kind of just sneak in and go fish. And these things, even if they don't like it, are all part of God, can never be more powerful, right? We are all a creation of God, so our power is ultimately His by default, right? And God can bless us for tasks, absolutely. Amen. All the glory to God, not the demonic. They made their choice, right? But God still uses it and uses them. Now, are they all going to be obliterated or actually saved? Can they be saved? I am not the one, again, I stay in my lane these days. I don't tell people they're going to go to hell just because that's not how I roll. That's God's job. Like, I don't want to go out of my lane anymore. So we were fishing at this Turtle Bay. I start hearing this noise. And I'm like, what is that? Do you know what that is? No. I'm like, what is that? And I hear it again, and it's kind of like, it's in between a cat and a newborn baby and a woman. I'm like, what is that sound? And you can almost tell, like, there's some type of suffering going on there. Like, inner turmoil, or I don't know how to explain it. I'm a woman, right? So I'm connected to the spirit. I had life inside of me. I know when my children that were inside of me are lying. I know when they are hurt. I know when they need me. All these things. And I know more than people think I do. Just because I don't talk about it doesn't mean I'm not aware. Vengeance is for the Lord. You've done something to my kids, I know that the Lord has their souls, so you can't have that anyway. But I'll continue on. So we're on this bay. It's daylight, mind you. It's the daytime, it's not nighttime. And I'm hearing like this animalistic noise that's not quite a cat, it's not quite feline, it's not quite a baby, and it's not quite a woman. It's just this like amalgamation of like, it sounded bad, guys. Like all I can say is, if an abomination made a sound, this would be it. Like that's, and I see what you're saying here. I feel the same way about like Bigfoot. Not demons, but Bigfoot and the Nephilim. I feel sorry for them. I can't tell you how I know this. But some of them are on our side. But they're under the principality of these other ones who order them around, right? They're in the hierarchy. So some of them are like us and they're trapped and they don't want to be in that situation. I'm not going to go, like, people are going to be like, how do you know this stuff? I can't tell you how I know it. I just do. And you don't have to believe me. So anyway, we're at this little bay and I'm hearing this noise, but it doesn't get bad yet. So I'm like, whatever. And then it lets out like this agonizing growl, scream, roar. I don't know. But if you can think of an abomination with like 3 heads and one's a cat, one's a woman, one's a baby, like that's what it sounded like. It was bizarre. And I was like, oh my God in heaven, what is that? Now let me tell you something. And I've said this in other videos, but you need to understand this if you're in a similar position. These people want us in a state of condemnation, but it's not for energy harvesting like people think. Some of it is, but not all of it. They want us in a state of condemnation and hating ourselves because that is how these things get attached to us. Just like the old wives' tale of bears and animals can smell your fear. They smell your sweat. They smell your pheromones. And they know when you're in fear. And if they smell your fear, instantly their instinct says, that's prey. That's prey. I got to go after that. This is why I tell you, do not be in fear, and God help me, do not run. Don't run in this time, okay? Not even for exercise. Don't run. People in fear run. Prey runs. We do not run, okay? So I heard this thing, and I'm like, oh my God, what is that? They want you in a state of condemnation. They don't want people going to confession. They shut down the Catholic Church pretty good. They shut down confession. Now, I'm going to tell you, I know you, a lot of people, I know how you feel about the church, but just listen. Confession unburdens you. If you're in a state of condemnation and you have all, look, I lost a viewer because of that, and you have all this stuff inside of you, these things will attach to you because of your guilt and your condemnation. And if you get into a certain place with your spiritual armor, if you sin, if you transgress, you open them up, you open yourself up legally for them to attack you. This is why they want to take you into the woods. This is why they want you. See, this is why it went, there's an order of operations, right? First, they wanted me to sin. Then they wanted me condemned, feeling like utter crap, right? Then they talked about Bigfoot all the time. Oh, Yeti this and Yeti all the time. That and sabotage. They were playing Beastie Boys sabotage. Indeed, right? If you get into a place where you are bogged down with guilt or some type of like condemnation, even if it's not valid, even if you're just hating on yourself and being hard on yourself, these Bigfoot or whatever you want to call it, these entities can attach to you that way. They know this. This is why they're doing it. Do you not see all the people worshiping Bigfoot right now? Like literally he's turned into an idol. He is the Nephilim. He has the mark of Cain, I think. I think that's what he carries. That's why he's hairy like that. He has the mark of Cain. And that's why he looks like a beast, because he's been out being Cain for thousands of years, allegedly. But that's who one of the main Bigfoot is Cain. If he's still, I think he's still alive. One book says he's deceased, but I don't know if I believe that. And that book is a Gnostic book. So these things can attach to you if you're in a state of condemnation. And I found out much later that this thing that I heard is what people describe when they're in the woods and they hear the mimic or the Bigfoot. That's kind of what they hear. And they hear these scream, growl things they're horrific. Like it makes you think of an abomination. Like if you watch a scary movie and they do like hybrid genetic stuff, like that's what comes to your mind, because it wasn't quite human. It wasn't a baby. Sounded kind of like a baby when a baby cries. And it sounded like a big cat. That thing had already started attaching itself to me at that point, and I didn't know it yet. When I went to confession, that released a lot of self-condemnation, okay? You can get delivered from these things. Now, I can't promise you that your family will quit persecuting you or anything like that, because you got to understand, a lot of these people made their choice. They made their choice. They know what they're doing. They know what time we're in. Like I said, go to Reddit. Start reading comment sections in certain videos about homeless people. Go look how the homeless people are being exploited right now. People taking money for other people wanting to see homeless people. And they'll put it right in the comments. I want to see you do this to her. Make her put on that blue stuff as lipstick. Have her do that. What have we become, man? What have we become? They knew this time was coming, and they wanted to be rid of a lot of us. And they don't want to get their hands dirty. So they have their minions, the Nephilim. A lot of them are reluctant and don't want to do their bidding anymore. They've got their own inner turmoil. And that's what I'm waiting on, is for that to explode on itself. Because they're not loyal to each other even anymore. Ziza says, I have heard something similar while walking. It went like something needed help, then got a moment of discernment and was like, nope. Drew, these things feed off energies. Yeah. And they can physically harm you if your spiritual armor is damaged. And by that I mean, are you walking, the spiritual armor? Breastplate of righteousness. Are you walking straight up and upright like a man should, or behaving like a beast? Breastplate of truth. Wait, Girdle of truth, I'm sorry. Are you walking in truth? Are you walking in the light of the truth? All of these things, if you have holes in that, these Bigfoot energy, entity creatures, whatever you think they are, they will attach to you. That's how it works. And again, this is why do you think my channel is hidden so much? Why do you think I get so many trolls in comment sections? And I didn't fix it today because I'm on my phone. I've been turning comments off for people who aren't subscribers. On my phone, I can't do that. But why do you think they come after me the way they do? I don't make these stories up. I don't do it for fun. I'm not doing it for attention. They don't want you knowing these things because you can help yourself then. You can be delivered of it on your own. And again, a lot of this was the previous generation before us, our grandparents, Gen X, our parents, who we thought our parents were taking good care of our children. They were indoctrinating us because if we didn't work out in the occult, well, then at least they had our child. Because my family didn't talk to me for years until I had children. Oh, well, it's a family, we gotta be family now. Then why do you still treat us like garbage? It's not about that. It never was. So again, recognize where you are, guys. Things here are way different than they look. You need to broaden your horizons. Stop watching the same people for a week or two or a month. Do an experiment. Subscribe to totally different types of channels. DIY channels, learning skill channels are good. But also, go subscribe to some of like the homeless channels. See how much they're being exploited. See how much money they're making off of them. And if they can't make money off of them, well, then they want them tracked off to the loony bin. You're homeless. You must have a mental problem if you're homeless. How does that work? That logic. There is a verse about doing to me when you do to those who have the least. Exactly. I'm not really sure why you're saying that now, though. Was I being uncharitable? I said I love them. But, yeah, Christ said, to the least of you, I can't look it up on my phone, but yes, when you feed the hungry, you're feeding me. When you comfort the widow, you are comforting me. When you clothe the naked, you are clothing me. What you do for the least of these, you do for me. That's Christ commissioning people to do all things from love. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Oh, that's what you're talking about, the homeless people. Yeah, dude, it's bad. Go read the comment sections. Oh my God, it's so discouraging. So discouraging. It's like, what has happened to people? And then they start telling them, tell her to talk like this. Tell her she needs to be, she's not feral anymore. She needs to comb her hair different. Or tell her, she's older now. She should wear, like, she is grown. Homeless does not mean stupid. Houseless does not mean that you're slow. Right? Houseless does not mean you have automatically some mental illness because you're houseless. Again, they know what they're doing in this time. They did all of it on purpose. All of it. And they're mad at me for talking about it, I guess, but I mean, people have to know. We already are confused about like orphan trains and Cabbage Patch Babies and all this bizarre stuff. My mother was taken away for like a couple years, came back, totally different person. I come back from Florida, my whole family, totally different people. They look the same, sort of. They kind of sound the same, sort of. Do they act the same? No. Do they eat the same? No. Do they smell the same? No. And I'm a mother. I could pick my baby, if he was a baby still, out of a lineup with my eyes closed, blindfolded, just by smell. Because I'm a mom, and we're able to do those things. I get weary of people, oh, you're crazy. Come up with something new, man. Like really, if you want to troll somebody and gaslight people and you don't want people listening to them, come up with something new. Because the crazy thing, it just isn't working. And it's so old. It's so old. Okay, so that was the one Bigfoot encounter. And I told you in one of the last videos about the big black void thing I saw on Portal Street. It's strange that it was called Portal. I didn't even realize it when it happened. But again, a lot of these things, I was able to look back. And my, some people call it my intuition, my instincts or whatever. I call it God leading me. He led me to all the information that pointed to what's happening. I would have never been able to figure this stuff out if God hadn't led me. I wouldn't have. I can't put myself in their position because I don't have a heart like that. And I don't care how naive that sounds still. Even after everything that's happened to me, I can't hate these people. I love them. I want us all to be in paradise. I want us all to be like doing whatever we like, whatever skill. Have a new Renaissance age. I want us to be there together. And I mean that. So yeah, I don't understand the mentality. Because again, these kids were indoctrinated into this. It's not like it came from nowhere. We were all prepped. Again, I was tested as a kid. We were all prepped for this time. Every person you see in Hollywood is from the cult. What is it called? Child of God? Child of God or something like that. That's their cult. Most Hollywood people. Go look them up. I'm not lying. It's everywhere. It's a giant cult. And cult is just short for culture. But it's a giant cult that practices the occult, hidden things. And I'm not saying they're all wicked because I don't know what they are. Some of them I know. And if you're meant to be like initiated into like the secret priesthood, Christ will let you know that. Like there is no denying it when you have a certain bloodline, man or woman. And again, some of us are facing this because of that bloodline. You will have these experiences more and more as time goes on. So this is why you have to prep yourself. You have to protect yourself. You have to fast. You have to deny yourself. And you have to learn how to control your emotions. Because they really... They play in... They want you reactive, right? Because, again, these things can attach to you through guilt and condemnation and anger sometimes. So to deliver yourself, you need to pray, right? They can't stand prayer. They can't stand it. They won't listen to it. You can tell who's a troll just by when I'm doing a Bible reading and the people that leave. Like, it's just the truth, okay? So you need to be praying. You need to be fasting. These things, these experiences, if you're having them too, it will increase. And it's not necessarily your fault. It's the times we're in. The veil is thin. Christ had already torn the veil. And I've seen people walking around that are supposed to be dead. That's what the Mandela effect is to me. The real definition of Mandela effect, before it was co-opted by freaking hippie gurus, the real definition of Mandela effect is rising from the dead. Because what did Mandela do? In video, at least. He came back from the dead. Right? That's what he did. All of this is biblical. And it might be happening on the screens. But ask yourself, why is it even happening on the screens? Why are they allowing it? Well, God allows everything. Even if Satan runs the system, he can't do anything without God allowing him to. This is why I tell you, behave, be careful, be observant, be kind, right? Because Satan went to God asking him if he could interfere with Job, and God allowed him because he was trying to teach him a lesson. But he can try to teach us lessons in the same way. My whole, not my whole family, but I saw my husband and his best friend's eyes go black. I went to PA, that wasn't far enough. My aunt's eyes went black when she got excited because I was in pain. Like, you can tell, like, they start to almost shake and get excited if you're in a lot of pain. If you're physically, if your mental anguish is causing, like, physical pain, she was, like, excited. And I looked at it because I was, like, bowled over. Like, I was in so much emotional turmoil that I was bent over, just, like, kind of bawling and trying to hold myself together. And she was so excited, her eyes turned black. And again, this is the one who had that brain surgery. So I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm done with this. And that's when I realized, like, this is why God needs me to stay. This is why God told me I can't leave this situation permanently, is because I need to be in the way. I need to stay in the way. Because everybody knows when there's already an abusive situation without all the occult stuff, when that person is gone, when the center of the abuse is gone or leaves, it moves to the next person in line, the next weakest person. And for me, that would be my children, my sons. And they're the ones who've been doing some of this. They're the ones who've been orchestrating it. The way they handed the baton down to this next generation was in a way that we don't understand. My son owns that pizza place where I worked. I know that he does, because of things that were said to me. I know that he does. How does he own that? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm so sick of hearing, like, the guy I worked for, now our landlord, everybody's in Florida. You can't reach nobody because they all go to Florida. That seems really suspicious to me. Like, I don't understand that. Almost everybody I know here in Ohio goes back and forth. How do you have more than one house? And how are you affording that? And you're working, like make it make sense, because it doesn't make any sense. Because it's being given to these people. Okay? That's why the national debt and all that stuff is a joke. They can have whatever house they want. They make the money. And they walk beside us every day as neighbors, making you think they are these untouchable people on the screen because they don't want you to know what they really look like. Because if you knew that, and I knew that, we'd all go to them with a lynch mob talking about, we're locking you up because you've been doing bad things. They know this. That's why they hide their identities. They know it. And now we've got these kids playing a giant game of Fortnite in real life, somehow making grown adults do their bidding and be sock puppets. So us adults are living in Village of the Damned, and the kids are living in a real life Fortnite. Again, you don't have to believe me. There's a lot going on right now. But ain't none of it what they're talking about on the screen. We can't say that we don't trust those people and then go there for our news. We need to be giving each other news. What's going on in your area? What's going on in your area? We should have one show a week or one stream a week where that's all it is us sharing information in the comment section and, you know, me verbalizing what I'm going through. Sharing local news so we know what's actually happening out there. Pilgrim's Rest, nice to see you. The Veil Christ tour was a separation between God and man. The demonic veil between Hades and this world is thin also, but the two are separate. Carnal, soulish, earthly, spiritual, different. That makes perfect sense. Because I believe that there's deeper thing. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for differentiating there. I appreciate that. That makes good sense. My head lately is not always intellectually as quick as it needs to be. Going through a lot of emotional distress about my children and their souls and my soul, and so I'm not always I don't always speak as fully as I probably should, especially in a casual chat. So thank you, Pilgrim's Rest, and I appreciate you being here. I don't agree with everything I've seen in your videos, but I really like you. Like, I resonate with what you say. I like what you have to say usually. So I hope you're well. Thank you. I get that too. Similar situation. I'd appreciate prayers. Thank you. I don't have anyone on this side of our veil praying for me. You know, that makes sense too, because God put the earth between the waters. And that means there's waters above and below to me. So a veil between heaven and a veil between hell. Good to reason together. Absolutely. And you know, I get so mad at people make videos about me or make posts about me talking about Witness is mean to one of her fans. And I'm like, guys, you can't hear any tone of voice in typing, number one. Number two, I'm so eager to be corrected. I want to learn. Like, I want to learn. I haven't had any fellowship. And I am learning from, like, a couple pastors, but I'm careful about TV preachers because they're all you know, in it for money and stuff. But there are a few that I watch and I learn from. Not women. Everybody's like, why don't you watch any women? You don't read the book, do you? And I know that's another reason why I'm facing this in this area. The kids that I worked with, the kids that torment me, are Christian. They identify as Christian. They call themselves Christian. But it's evangelical Christian. We have a mega church down the road. Now, for our area, it's a mega church. Compared to other mega churches, it's not a mega church. But it would be our version of a mega church, evangelical church. And that's just another reason these people give me problems. But again, we have the whole genetic thing happening here too. Everybody that gives me a problem has blonde hair and blue eyes. Like I'm feeling the Jewish people right now and like what they go through. But Jewish people, like the real Jewish people, aren't they blue-haired or blue-eyed and blonde-haired? I don't understand this picking on somebody because of how they're born. You can't choose your station in life. We certainly learn from one another. I'm sorry to distract you and interrupt. Don't worry. No, you're not an interruption. Yes. Absolutely. Persecution's going to come from within. They're going to call me a heretic for some of the things I say. I know that already. Some people here don't like some of the things I say and probably have called me heretical at times. But we have to understand that our teachers are wolves. They have been wolves our whole lives. We have to go back and discern through everything. We have to go relearn everything. So that it's a time when you really have to trust your instincts and your discernment, you know? I should run and try to get some sleep. You guys have been really awesome, though. Thank you so much for being here with me and Sam. And he's still snoring. Can you see him? Sammy. I love you. He is my only friend, and Seth threatens him all the time. And now today he threatened us with his truck. What is it with men wanting to pick on women? That's so bad. Like, it doesn't look... How can, like, even their buddies... They're all in this echo chamber, right? With their big bellies and their bald heads and their stupid dark sunglasses. Patting each other on the back like, oh, you did a good job on her, man. Why? We're women. You shouldn't want to harm us like that. Thanks for sharing. I hope you get good rest. Well, I probably won't, but thank you for the concern. Prayers. I could definitely use prayers, and I will pray for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to end this one now, but you guys have a blessed night, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.